Today we're at Borders in Charing Cross Road for a book signing by Brett Alegre Wood of his new book, The 3+1 Plan. Brett's a property expert and this is his first book. It's all about property investment and it's absolutely riveting. Let's go and meet Brett and hear all about the 3+1 Plan. Brett, I've read the book and I think it's absolutely wonderful. I'm very keen on investing myself. There's just one thing I'm a little bit worried about. Once you've bought your properties, how do you find a good estate agent and managing agent to maintain them for you?
Yeah, good. I think if you go to any high street, you're going to see multiple letting agents that will manage the property for you. They'll take it on and manage it for you. And I think that's really important, given the legislation's afoot now, that you need someone to do that. But I think the one thing is the book will cover is actually the questions you need to ask of those people, because that's the most important and fundamental thing, is that you get the questions right and you understand why you're asking the questions.
Fantastic, thank you. And the other thing I wanted to ask you, you say in the book that historically all properties double within 7 to 10 years. This is an amazing figure. Have you proved this over the years?
Yeah, I think definitely. I think if you look at the stats, what we say, and look, we call it the biggest assumption in property, because it is an assumption because we're talking about going forward. If we look historically, yes, between 7 to 11 years, they'll double. I think 11.2 years is the longest and 5.1 years is the shortest. So, but what we say is 7 to 10 years, they should be doubling, assuming you've got good solid fundamentals. So it's not necessarily all properties, but certainly ones with good solid fundamentals. So.
And of course, in your book, you tell us how to buy the right properties, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah, obviously.
Now you've done your first book, which of course is just launching tonight, which is very exciting. Are you planning on doing more books?
Definitely, yeah. I think the second book, which is more on the emotional side of investing. So rather than being the strategies and structures and processes and procedures, it's more about the emotional impact of building a portfolio and the things you need to look out for, the things you need to or change in beliefs and all sorts of things like that. So, yeah.
So emotional. So this is going to possibly appeal more to the women.
Definitely, without a doubt. But it's interesting because what we find when we're talking to a husband and wife is that at the start, the husband wants to run off, and the wife wants to pretty much run off and buy lots of property, that is. The wife wants to hang back and, look after the property and that. But once the wife gets, everything under the understanding, they're the ones running off and we're grabbing them by the shirt and dragging him along. So it sort of changes as the education grows.
You don't get it. But I can understand, they're all working people.
The reason we chose the 3+1 plan by Brett Alegre Wood is because we believe it is the energy injection we all need now nationwide. Now it rests with me to have the great pleasure to introduce to you our new brilliant author, Brett Alegre Wood.
I want to thank you all for coming along tonight. It's fantastic. I remember one of my fears was to come along and have a book signing and have nobody turn up and sitting there and some press or someone take a photo of me sitting there looking very alone. So it's great to have you guys here. The 3+1 plan, we know it works because we've got lots of clients that it works for. 3+1 plan was born out of a conversation in 1999 that I had with Peter James. We were discussing what it takes to practically retire. Not fully retire necessarily, but to have the money to stop working quite as hard, take a look at your future and decide what to do next with your life. He argued that you only needed your own home plus 3 buy-to-let properties to get into a position to fund any retirement. At first, I thought that seemed far too easy. Only 3 buy-to-lets and your own home? So I ran the mathematics on some of my properties and I found that the numbers fitted. Actually, it worked out to be more money than if I kept working. I wrote about our conversation in my financial partners newsletter under the name The 3+1 Strategy, and over the years developed it as I met the thousands of people that, who wanted exactly what the 3+1 plan offered. Most people wanted to achieve a self-funded retirement and a supplemented lifestyle without having to spend a huge amount of time creating this extra wealth. And I think that's the key to what the 3+1 plan is about. Is that it's not necessarily about being rich or being wildly wealthy and driving fast cars and all that, but it's about actually self-funding your retirement and then creating a lifestyle that actually, you can enjoy things and you have lifestyle choices. But more importantly, it's not about spending so much time getting to that position. And I think this is what the book's about, is all about not having to spend a huge amount of time to create the type of lifestyle that you want. This is from chapter 2, set and forget strategy. Set and forget, put simply, is every little thing that I do that has anything to do with property is set up so that I can forget about it on a day-to-day basis for 2 years at a time. Then I simply set it up again so that I can forget about it on a day-to-day basis for another 2 years. I think the essence of this is not about, as I said, you don't want to spend all day, every day dealing with a property. The last thing you want to do in building a property portfolio is actually create another job, okay? So what the set and forget philosophy in the book is all about is about doing the simple things that make it very easy to manage